Hi there. I wanted to take a moment and talk about something in the mentoring world. If you are a mentor of young people or young at heart people, and encourage you to consider this concept. I had a lesson earlier today with one of my young adult students, and we had a conversation about boundaries. And it was fascinating to me because the conversation was about how we can establish boundaries and the need to establish boundaries, how you establish those boundaries, and that boundaries can be established against you. And that's all acceptable. And I think the conversation centered around social media and the boundaries that you can have with social media. And I have to confess, I don't have an understanding of the social media etiquette that some of the younger members of the younger generation would have. So, but it was clear that some boundaries, the need to set boundaries is more obvious than others. And in social media, it's a little different though. But what was fascinating to me was her level of understanding the circumstances, the capabilities, the strength and empowerment of establishing boundaries has at her age. Because I don't think I understood boundaries and their importance and how to establish them until I was probably in my 40s. So it just made me think about when we are working with younger people and how we can teach them the need for boundaries and how we can model that for them, not just our children, but any child that we mentor, because there's a lot of us out here who are maybe not just teachers, but have influence over young people that we are either volunteering with. Like, for example, my church has VBS this week. And so if you're a leader, a youth in leading a small group of kids, throughout their VBS experience, that's also a mentor. That's somebody who, and there are boundaries you kind of have to establish with them. Like, following the rules for a reason, and they're there for a reason, and just to keep us safe, not to control us. So anyway, it was just a very interesting conversation. I was so impressed with her understanding of them and her willingness to establish them and follow through with them at her age, and how it's important for us to teach this generation, younger generations, or actually each other, to support each other in establishing our own boundaries. So I wanted to pose the question, how are you establishing, following through, and maintaining boundaries? And how are you modeling that for a younger generation? That's just a food for thought. So thanks for listening.